When the entitlement collapses, the message just becomes noise. So therefore, the digital Iron Dome relied on the message being received as truth by default, and that default is now gone. The internal collapse of narrative control did not require an organised opposition. It did not require protest or revolt or ideological rupture. It required only the simultaneous availability of two conflicting realities, the spoken and the seen. The spoken reality was protected by censorship structures. The seen reality circulated through the networks that censorship was not fast enough to contain. The contradiction didn't need to be pointed out. It only needed to be observed. So the state attempted to respond by increasing the messaging volume, more statements, more briefings, more coordination with foreign public relations firms, more influencer contracts, more call-ups of their digital soldiers, more insistence on the same framing language. Volume was mistaken for credibility, though. Repetition was mistaken for reinforcement. The digital Iron Dome was collapsing under the weight of its own output. The more it spoke, the less the speech meant, the worse it sounded. The reach of the digital Iron Dome has always depended on the assumption that narrative consent was stable, and for decades it has been. The audiences who believed were consistent. The networks that carried the message were controlled. The linguistic categories were fixed. The words for Palestinian death and Israeli death were not the same. The words for Israeli strike and Palestinian strike were not the same. The narrative architecture worked because the language didn't change, but the footage forced the language to confront what it was describing, and that's when the language failed. The collapse of language is the collapse of narrative control. Once the language cannot hide what the image shows, the narrative cannot protect the violence from recognition.